Transmito desde un lugar de la Matrix, de cuyo nombre no quiero acordarme.
Myths that creativity comes via inspiration, that original creations break the mold, that they're the products of geniuses, and appear as quickly as electricity can heat a filament. But creativity isn't magic. It happens by applying ordinary tools of thought to existing materials. And the soil from which we grow our creations is something we scorn and misunderstand, even though it gives us so much. And that Christopher Latham Sholes modeled his typewriter keyboard on a piano. This design slowly evolved over 5 years into the QWERTY layout we still use today.
When the typewriter was invented back in the 1960s, its keys were arranged like piano keys, and they were in alphabetical order. As technology advanced, typewriters improved, and it was soon faster to use a typewriter than it was to write things out by hand. Typewriters are sophisticated mechanical devices, but because each type bar hits the same place on the device, typing too quickly causes the type bars to get stuck or jammed together, which would require that Christopher Latham Sholes invented the QWERTY keyboard layout
en el año 1868, el 23 de junio, y tras 4 años de intenso trabajo, el norteamericano Christopher Latham Sholes patenta la primera máquina de escribir, que en el futuro revolucionará el trabajo de las oficinas. Poco después venderá la patente a Dvorak y Sholes por $12.000. Esta llegará a un acuerdo con el fabricante de máquinas de coser y Remington Sons, que comenzará a fabricarla a partir del 1 de mayo del año 1872 en su factoría de Ilion, en el estado de Nueva York. Ocurría en el año 1868.
Hubo muchos intentos para desarrollar el artefacto, pero el primero en ser masivamente exitoso fue el creado en 1868 por Christopher Sholes, Carlos Glidden y Samuel Soule. En la mayoría de las máquinas iniciales no se podía ver lo que se iba mecanografiando.
Christopher Sholes was born in 1819 in Pennsylvania and as a young boy worked in a printing shop. Eventually he became a reporter and printer and later an editor of a newspaper. Christopher wanted to make a machine that people could use to print words with their hands, and by 1867 he invented the typewriter. He had a very hard time selling the typewriter, and so he sold it to Remington Arms Company, who started making and selling the Remington typewriter. He spent the rest of his life making improvements to his invention, like adding the shift key. Although his invention was amazing, he died in 1890 without ever getting rich from his invention.
Neki je čovjek utrčao u trgovinu u Bostonu i za $125 kupio ormarić za koji u to doba nitko nije znao čemu služi. Zatim je, poslije teške borbe s tipkovnicom i slovima, napisao novi nastavak romana Tom Sawyer. Svakome je jasno da je riječ o glasovitom piscu Marku Twenu, koji je oduševljeno prihvatio pisači stroj, novi tehnički izum, kako bi svoj strašan rukopis zamijenio posve čitkim slovima. Dakako da je i njegov nakladnik, Bliss, napokon odahnuo. No, ovo nije priča o Twenu, nego o čarobnom stroju, koji je ubrzao prijepis tekstova posvuda u svijetu. Neki William Bertie iz Detroita prvi je 23. srpnja 1829. dobio patent za svoj obiteljski stroj za tiskanje slova. Pravim ocem modernog pisačeg stroja ipak se smatra Christopher Sholes, sjajan novinar i urednik, a poslije i američki senator. Taj je tehnički zanesenjak 1868. složio golemu kutiju sa slovima na crnim tipkama nalik klavijaturi, te pritisak prstiju prenosio složenim spletom žica na vrpcu koja je ostavljala slovni trag. 2 godine kasnije uređaj je već nalikovao današnjem pisačem stroju. Time je ljudima uvelike olakšao dotad mukotrpno pisanje. Na tom su izumu ipak drugi zaradili milijune dolara. Rekao prijatelju, cijeli sam se život trudio da ne postanem milijunaš. Držim da mi je to divno uspjelo.
Başlatmaya karar verdi. Harflerin yerlerini karıştırdı. En çok kullanılan harfleri
Sholes typewriter from 1874. I think this is about the second or third model they did.
La più antica è questa Caligraph, 1882. Fu costruita da un uomo di ingegno, ma anche molto tenace, di nome Christopher Latham Sholes, un giornalista che poi divenne direttore di giornale, poi venne nominato senatore degli Stati Uniti. Volle dedicare gli ultimi anni della sua vita a costruire una macchina da scrivere perché si era accorto che c'era un'esigenza vera. L'uomo voleva poter scrivere con dei caratteri fissi, uguali, da stampa individualmente. Allora si intestardì e gli ultimi anni li volle dedicare a quest'idea, soltanto che la cosa risultava molto più complessa di quello che lui potesse immaginare. Dovette brevettare più di 30 modelli. Questi modelli li faceva testare in casa dalla figlia Lilly, una biondina, nel salotto di casa, perché si era accorta che la Lilly aveva una spiccata manualità e quella è la Lilly che sta ancora scrivendo qua. La Lilly è quella che ha introdotto l'elemento femminile nell'interno degli uffici che sino a quel momento erano...
La primera máquina de escribir apareció en 1714, pero el estándar llegó con las famosas Remington de 1873. A partir de entonces, el invento se convirtió en un equipo cotidiano tanto en las oficinas como en los hogares del siglo XX. En la máquina de escribir nació, por ejemplo, la barra espaciadora, la tecla de las mayúsculas o esa curiosa colocación de las letras que empieza por QWERTY.
Daktilo icat edildiğinde daktilolarda da Q klavye dizilimi kullanılıyordu. Yıllarca daktilo kullanan insanların alışkanlıklarını değiştirmek istemeyen bilgisayar firmaları bilgisayarlara da Q klavye koydular. Daktilonun mucidi Christopher Latham Sholes 1867'de cihazın patentini aldı. Ancak cihazın tasarımından kaynaklanan mekanik bir sorunla karşılaştı. Alfabetik sırayla dizilmiş tuşlara basıldığında iki kol birden kağıda doğru havalanıp içeride sıkışmaya neden oluyordu. Sholes bu problemin çözümü için kullanıcının yazım hızını yavaşlatmaya karar verdi. Harflerin yerlerini karıştırdı. En çok kullanılan harfleri
Première machine à écrire est conçu par un imprimeur américain, Christopher Latham Sholes, en 1873. Il s'associe avec un fabricant de fusils militaires, Remington. La première machine sort des usines un an plus tard. Le texte s'écrit sous le rouleau, le dactylographe ne le voit pas. D'autres propositions techniques voient le jour pour mécaniser l'écriture. Faut-il réellement un clavier? Pour écrire majuscules et minuscules, on pourrait avoir un clavier double. Il aura d'ailleurs assez longtemps ses partisans. Et puis, dans quel ordre mettre les lettres? Deux lettres qui se suivent souvent dans une langue ne doivent pas être associées à des marteaux voisins, sinon ils risqueraient de se coincer. D'où le clavier Qwerty des anglophones et AZERTY des francophones. Femme dans l'univers des bureaux. Son nom? La machine à écrire. Remington Standard, 1907. La Remington Standard est une machine techniquement parfaite. Elle restera quasiment inchangée pendant plusieurs décennies. Chaque touche commande un petit marteau qui vient frapper la feuille de papier. Tous les marteaux tapent au même endroit. C'est le chariot portant la feuille qui se déplace de droite à gauche. Des touches de tabulation commandent au chariot de venir à une position précise, utile pour écrire par exemple une adresse bien alignée sur un côté de la feuille. À chaque frappe, le ruban encreur vient s'interposer entre le marteau et la feuille. En bas du clavier, les touches majuscules. Elles soulèvent l'ensemble du chariot. Quand une touche est tapée, c'est alors la partie inférieure du marteau qui vient frapper le chariot, partie où la lettre en relief est majuscule. La manette de retour chariot permet d'un geste de ramener celui-ci vers la droite, tout en faisant tourner le rouleau et passer à la ligne suivante.
The QWERTY typewriter keyboard was invented by Christopher Latham Sholes in the 19th century. He filed the patent for his typewriter in 1868. However, the first models weren't available to the public until the Remington Company released them in 1877. To get the newest list,
A QWERTY story. The first typewriter was introduced to the United States in 1868 by Christopher Latham Sholes. His first attempt to build a typing device consisted of a crude and sluggish machine that was far from perfect. The design used letters and characters on the ends of rods which were called type bars. When a key was struck, the type bar would swing up and hit the ink-coated tape which would transfer the image onto paper. The original design of the keyboard positioned keys in an alphabetical order in 2 rows. Makes sense, right? Well, this arrangement caused the type bars of the most commonly used combination letters of the alphabet, i.e. TH and ST, to be positioned close together, so when the keys were hit right after the other with a speed faster than a snail, the keys would jam. The attempt to solve this malfunction resulted in the rearrangement of the keys. In 1868, in collaboration with educator Amos Densmore, Sholes arranged the letters on the keyboard for better spacing between popular keys used in combination. The result was that this initially made it difficult for people to find the letters they needed to type efficiently. However, someone who mastered this new key arrangement would actually be able to type faster because the keys wouldn't jam. This was the beginning of the QWERTY keyboard, which first appeared in 1872. The first typewriter machine found its way onto the market in 1874 through Remington Sons. This device was a Remington No. 1. You're probably thinking it sold out in minutes, since it was the latest and greatest technological device to be mass-produced. The truth is, most people ignored it. Sure, the machine still had some quirks, and Sholes had yet to figure out the ideal customers for his invention, but in the late 1870s, the idea of mechanical writing was just plain strange for most people. The accepted norm was to write letters in legible longhand, and many people found mechanical writing uncouth or even offensive. Sholes figured his device would appeal to clergymen and men of letters first, and then he'd branch out to the general public. He didn't even consider its use in business. All of those factors probably played a part in the typewriter's initial lack of sales. 4 years later, after slight modifications to the arrangement of the keyboard were made, Remington & Sons produced the new Remington No. 2 model. The Remington No. 2 included the arrangement of keys as we use them today, along with the ability to type both capital and lowercase letters by using the Shift key. The Shift key received its name because it caused the carriage to shift positions in order to type either a lowercase or capital letter which were on the same type bar. Although the Shift frequently alternate hands to type most words, with the Dvorak keyboard, a person could type approximately 400 of the English language's most common words just by using the keys of the home row, compared to 100 words on the Qwerty keyboard. In addition, using the Dvorak keyboard, a typist's fingers would not have to travel as far as they did on Sholes' keyboard to type the majority of words. Dvorak set out to prove his machine superior to Sholes's, but his keyboard never caught on. Many of the studies used to test the effectiveness of his keyboard were flawed or were deemed a conflict of interest since Dvorak conducted them himself. A US General Services Administration study in 1953 of Dvorak's keyboard determined it didn't matter which keyboard was used. Experienced typists in either keyboard typed at approximately the same speed, with variants based more on their individual skill rather than either keyboard design being superior to the other in a larger sample size of words. This ultimately killed the Dvorak keyboard, as the majority of people didn't want to commit the time or resources it would take to be trained on a new keyboard. Thus, the Qwerty keyboard preserved through today, and seemingly will continue to do so for the foreseeable future. As Dr. Dvorak said, "Changing the keyboard format is like proposing to reverse the Ten Commandments and the Golden Rule, discard every moral principle, and ridicule motherhood."
Breve historia del teclado Qwerty. Las máquinas de escribir de aquellos días, sus funcionalidades estaban colocadas en orden alfabético y por ende ocasionaban problemas al escribir, ya que los mecanógrafos escribían demasiado rápido y sus resortes chocaban unos con otros. ¿Qué problema este? A un inventor, político, impresor y periodista estadounidense llamado Christopher Latham Sholes. En 1868, Sholes, quien diseñó la primera máquina de escribir, para solucionarlo, Christopher Sholes distribuyó las letras con el propósito de lograr que las personas escribieran más rápido sin que los resortes chocaran entre sí. Así nació y vio la luz el teclado Qwerty, que son las primeras 6 letras superiores izquierdas del teclado.
C'est la pratique du piano, indispensable à l'éducation de toute jeune fille honnête, qui prédisposerait les femmes à la dactylographie. Après la Seconde Guerre mondiale, c'est devenu naturel, la dactylographie est un métier de femme. De nombreuses écoles apparaissent où les jeunes filles apprennent leur futur métier de secrétaire dactylographe.
En 1996, el Nokia 9000 fue el primer teléfono celular que incorporó un teclado físico. Esta modalidad fue evolucionando hasta convertirse en formato digital.
On Dvorak, all the most commonly used letters are on the home row, with consonants on the right and vowels on the left, and 70% of all typing is done on the home row. Compare that to 32% on the Qwerty layout. Dvorak certainly looks very logical, but it's still controversial as to whether Dvorak is actually faster and better than Qwerty. Also, heaven forbid you should ever have to share your computer with anyone else. People get really bewildered when they see this. Once you've learned Dvorak, the best solution seems to be using a Qwerty keyboard, but set to Dvorak in software. That way you can switch back to Qwerty whenever necessary. You see, Qwerty is already so ubiquitous by now that it's probably here to stay forever. Even though I believe that Dvorak is superior, I still haven't switched to it. I tried once and it was just too difficult for me, so I gave up. And that's why Qwerty is still king. It's not optimal, but it's good enough. And it's what everybody's already used to. A lot of things are.
Our computer keyboard actually owes a bit of thanks to Christopher Latham Sholes. Sholes and his friends invented one of the first typewriters in 1867, Unfortunately, his design was prone to type bar clashes, causing jams in the carriage. As a result, he developed a keyboard to prevent type bar clashes, which involved having a keyboard with 4 rows similar to the QWERTY keyboard layout that exists today. The initial purpose of this keyboard design was to make people type slowly in order to prevent jams. Then, in 1873, the QWERTY design was sold to Remington, the gun manufacturer. A few years later, sales increased exponentially. 5,000 units were sold by the 1880s using the modern-day QWERTY design. However, during this time, typists were learning how to use more of their fingers to increase their typing speed. The advent of touch typing, which was considerably faster than the 4-fingered hunt and peck method, was learned on the QWERTY keyboard layout due to its widespread use at the time. This typing technique took more time to learn, but once it was learned, it was considerably faster than the hunt and peck method. This was crucial in causing the QWERTY design to be locked in as a dominant keyboard arrangement.
तो आपको पीछे हम स्नैप में देखा होगा आपने कि राइट पोस्चर कौन सा है। सबसे पहले आपका पोस्चर ठीक होना चाहिए इसी एंगल में। सेकंड देखिए, कभी भी बैठते हैं तो अपना वाटर बोतल साथ लेके बैठिए, सेफ रखिए उसको अलग टेबल पे ताकि कंप्यूटर पे गिर ना जाए और आपका कंप्यूटर, लैपटॉप वगैरह इलेक्ट्रॉनिक गैजेट्स खराब ना हो जाएं। देखिए थर्ड, अगर आपके सेफ साइड की बात करें तो जो स्पेक्स हैं, अगर आपकी आई साइड वीक है तो वो लगा के यूज़ कीजिए, कम रोशनी में मत यूज़ कीजिए। इसको रोशनी लाइट की ज़्यादा होनी चाहिए और जो लैपटॉप की है वो कम रोशनी रखिए।
Elles peuvent facilement trouver un travail. La machine à écrire devient leur moyen d'émancipation.
The act of creation is surrounded by a fog of myths. Myths that creativity comes via inspiration, that original creations break the mold, that they're the products of geniuses, and appear as quickly as electricity can heat a filament. But creativity isn't magic. It happens by applying ordinary tools of thought to existing materials. And the soil from which we grow our creations is something we scorn and misunderstand, even though it gives us so much. And that's copying. Put simply, copying is how we learn. We can't introduce anything new until we're fluent in the language of our domain. And we do that through emulation. For instance, all artists spend their formative years producing derivative work. Bob Dylan's first album contained 11 cover songs. Richard Pryor began his stand-up career doing a not very good imitation of Bill Cosby. And Hunter S. Thompson retyped The Great Gatsby just to get the feel of writing a great novel. Nobody starts out original. We need copying to build a foundation of knowledge and understanding. And after that, things can get interesting.
Subscribe, comenta, ¿qué piensas? Hazlo, pero con amor.